What's up, kings and queens? It's your boy Dan from Daft Previews. I've got 3 picks that I put down. I'm going to take you through that today. If that sounds interesting, let's go.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice and the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.
Before we jump into the picks, we do have to recap yesterday, be accountable for the stuff that we spoke about. I went 2-1 on the picks that I gave you yesterday. VIP had a really strong day, 11.7 units profit. We went 7-1 on straight picks, hit a couple of value plays as well. And we were one Franz Wagner point away from sweeping another Trixie combo. That would have been another 20 units, could have been a 30-unit day. But hey, look, a pretty good day. I'm not going to complain about it. I did tell everybody on VIP that even though the reads have been great and we're rolling in profit right now, it's important that we don't forget the losing days because that wasn't that long ago. The approach that I take in VIP is risky, meaning we'll win a lot more on good days, but we will lose a lot more on bad days too. So not every day is going to be the way that it has been, but I'm going to do my best to make sure it does. Let's talk about the straight picks. Went 7-1 on those. The only loser of the day was one of the ones I shared on YouTube, and it was Podziemski over 13.5 points. Now, when I put this out to VIP, I said, why do your free picks always suck? Because I assumed that's what the YouTube comments would say, and yeah, it happened. But ultimately, that was a bad read on Podziemski because I failed to account that Steph Curry was going to score 50 points today. My goodness, what a game. Steph Curry, I thought that was going to be the game of the day, the player of the day, and then Jokic comes out with a 60-point triple-double. But Podziemski, I honestly don't hate that bet too much. Hard to say whether it was good or not because Steph Curry kind of blew that game open all by himself. So did hit some other winners though. So a lot of things to be happy about. Rudy Gobert smashed his PRA. That was easy cash. History repeats itself once again. We took Denny over 8.5 rebounds. He murdered this line. There's a warrant out for his arrest apparently. This was pretty much done by halftime. Took Santi Aldama over 11.5 points. He finishes at 18, so that was easy. OG over 23.5 points. His hot streak continues. He scored 27 points in this game. Franz Wagner, I bet him at 23.5 points. We're on the right side of a hook with that one. He finished with 24, and he struggled towards the end of that game to score some points. Brook Lopez, 14.5 points. He was a machine today. He didn't see high volume, but he was efficient as hell. Then the value plays and the combo started rolling in. Screw it. I'll just show them to you instead of reading them to you. Let's talk about it. We hit Aldama, $50 into 175, 15 points, 5 rebounds. We also hit this Trixie combo because we have Rudy Gobert over his points, over his assists and rebounds. Denny Advia 15, 3, and 10, 100 into 270. There's the Denny value play. There's the Rudy value play. Brook Lopez took him for 20 points. And here's the next combo. Santi into Brook Lopez, and look at this Franz Wagner one. Killer. This would have been 100 into like $2.5 grand, but what can you do? Don't want to be greedy about it, but could have been another 30-unit day. But look, if you're interested in joining VIP, I do still have some redemptions from the last code. It's 22% off VIP forever. I'll leave a link for that in the video description below. You don't even have to enter the code. You just click on the link. It's got the code in there already. VIP is best for those with a traditional sportsbook who can create same-game parlays. But if you can't do that, you just want access to my straight picks, you can jump into the straight picks plan. It only costs you $1 a day. Those straight picks be banging. So go ahead and check that out. Links to that down below. So we're jumping into props madness. We're talking about props. Now, a lot of games on the slate, and usually that excites me. But most of these games are likely to be a blowout based off the spread, is what I'm saying. So you got to be cautious out there is what I would say. So I have a couple of leans I'll talk you through. A lot of the leans are really dependent on a blowout or not. So if there is a risk of a blowout, then I think bench players have a lot of value, which is why I'm probably going to have to put a lot of my picks down just before the game start. But let me talk you through what I've got. I've got 3 picks down. No bench players in it. All strong. What am I talking about? Strong. These are all great players, commonly known. Popular players potentially, but let's see how we go. The first one I'm rolling with today, I'm taking Mark Williams again. I was going to call him a beast, but he actually isn't. But I'm taking him for over 13.5 points. I'd also play this at 14.5. I took this at great odds at 13.5. It's starting to move. So if you catch this video and it's at 14.5, no need to put a comment down below. Take it at 14.5 because I like it there as well. But I took this at 13.5, and here is why. So he's projected to play 30 minutes today. What I did filtering wise, I looked at games where he plays between 27 and 33 minutes. LaMelo Ball, he's obviously out for this one. So looking at the games without LaMelo, when he plays 27 to 33 minutes, Mark Williams is over this line in every single game. 7 out of 7 games, averaging 20 points per game. Now, he is up against the Indiana Pacers today, and it's actually a pretty decent matchup for Mark Williams. So the Pacers, they allow the 5th most points to the pick and roll man. That's how he scores a lot of his points. They allow the 5th most points in the restricted area, so where he scores 80% of his points. There is also a chance that Miles Turner misses this game. And if he misses this game, then they're even weaker down low. So Mark Williams needs to be used and abused if the Charlotte Hornets are going to stand any chance here against the Indiana Pacers. Obviously, the risk in this game and this bet is the blowout. We've got a 14.5 point spread here. If there's a blowout, might be difficult for Mark Williams to get there, but it's a relatively low line. I think Mark Williams can get it done. If there's a blowout, he probably plays 24 minutes. So if we look at games where he plays between 22 and 27 minutes without LaMelo, he's under this line in every single game. So pretty much I'm betting on the Charlotte Hornets to cover the spread by the looks of things. But Mark Williams, I like the numbers. I like the matchup. Let's see how we go today. See a number, play a number. The next pick that I've got for you is in this Houston Rockets versus the Utah Jazz. And I'm rolling with Jaylen Green today. I'm taking his rebounds and assists, and I'm hitting the over on that. We're looking at 8.5 in that one. So Jaylen Green, he's projected to play 33 minutes in this game. Now, post the All-Star break is what I was really locked in on. Looked at minutes between 30 and 36. And post the All-Star break, he's played 9 games that meet this criteria. And we can see he's over this line in 6 of those games, averaging 10.9 rebounds and assists. What's also helpful is that he's played the Utah Jazz twice since the All-Star break. He had 13 and 14 rebounds and assists in both of those games. I will say that in those games, the Rockets lost one of them. And in the game that they won by 11. We've got a 17.5 point spread here. So obviously the risk is a blowout in this one as well. But Jaylen Green, just like he did against the Los Angeles Lakers, could get a lot of these rebounds and assists nice and early. Now, I like this play for Jaylen Green, not because of the hit rate or anything like that, but the matchup is a nice one too. So this season, Jaylen Green's operating a lot more in the pick and roll compared to last season. The good thing about this play is that the Utah Jazz actually defend the pick and roll extremely well. I wouldn't say they defended extremely well. They don't allow points to pick and roll ball handlers. So second fewest points allowed to pick and roll ball handlers, which is crazy given that the Utah Jazz have one of the worst defensive ratings in the league. So what they do is they pretty much stack up. They've got a big playing in drop coverage, but they also have the wings packing the paint as well. So they pretty much focus entirely on the pick and roll ball handler to prevent them from scoring. But what that means is they leave shooters wide open, which is why the Utah Jazz allow the most three-point attempts per game, is because they leave them wide open, they pack the paint. And Jaylen Green, in these pick and roll situations, he's either going to find Şengün, who's rolling to the rim. Chances are he's not going to have too many opportunities in there. The Jazz don't allow many points to pick and roll rollers or the big man, but they're going to leave it everybody who's outside. Fred VanVleet, Dylan Brooks, Thompson will be left wide open, Jabari Smith, Tari Eason. Like, they're going to leave all these guys wide open. And I think Jaylen Green's going to be the guy to find them. So he should have good potential assist volumes in this game. Hopefully the Rockets shoot well. The other thing I like about this is because the Utah Jazz allow so many three-point attempts, a lot of three-point attempts means there's a lot of long rebounds. And when there are long rebounds, after watching some film, Jaylen Green is pretty good at picking up those boards. So the last time he played Utah, he had 4 offensive rebounds, and a lot of them would just like that. A lot of the times he had a potential assist, didn't get it, got the offensive rebound because of those long boards. So defensively, Jaylen Green is their worst perimeter defender, I would say. If Colin Sexton plays, Thompson will likely pick him up. Jaylen Green typically defends weak side shooters, like a lot of star players who don't play defense, which means he's going to be in good position to get some easy, uncontested rebounds. So I'm rolling with the rebounds and the assists here for Jaylen Green, but I will call out that the risk here is the blowout, right? If Utah blows them out, not Utah, shit. If the Rockets blow them out and they win by 30 and they're up by 30 by the third quarter, Jaylen Green probably doesn't see his time, but hopefully he can get this done within the time. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I like Jaylen Green. It's only 8.5 rebounds and assists. He doesn't necessarily have to play 35 minutes to make this happen. So let's see how we go. I'm rolling with Jaylen Green. I think the other thing I'll call out whilst I'm on this point, It's like, if you don't agree that the bets that I've given out are good, then just don't bet them. I'm giving out this information, insights, and I'm being transparent about what I've bet on so far. It's your choice on whether you choose to tell, is what I'm going to say. It's a very risky day today with all these potential blowouts, but screw it. Want to create content, want to get some bets out. We're doing this. The last pick I have for you, though, it's our man in the thumbnail. We're looking at Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. We've got the Pistons versus the Thunder. And we have another game that could very well be a blowout. It's a 14.5-point spread. The Pistons are most likely missing Cade Cunningham in this game again. So why the hell am I betting on SGA when there's a potential blowout risk? Well, there's two reasons, and it has nothing to do with data. The first reason is that the matchup is pretty good. The Pistons, they get murdered in the pick and roll. They give up a ton of free throws. It's perfect for SGA. I said this last time they played, and then SGA went out and scored 48 points the last time he played Detroit. That was a 6-point win, though. It wasn't a blowout, so he did see 38 minutes. In a blowout, he typically sees about 32 minutes. But here's the other reason why I like this bet. And it all involves the MVP race. Now, I remember I've done this in previous years. Whoever's competing with Jokic to get MVP, you tend to start to see these battles. I most vividly remember the Joel Embiid and Nikola Jokic battle when that MVP race was on. Like, Joel Embiid will drop 40, 20, and 5. And then Jokic will come out and drop 25, 20, and 15. Like, they were just going at it, which is pretty amazing. And Nikola Jokic today, although I believe SGA has MVP in the bag this season, there's a lot of people who are still saying that Nikola Jokic deserves to get MVP. So let me know in the comment section who's your MVP for this NBA season. But Nikola Jokic just had a 61-point triple-double today against the Minnesota Timberwolves. It's made headlines. Everybody's aware of it. I'm sure SGA knows about it. And I just have this feeling inside of me that SGA comes out and to make a statement. Whether he scores 50 points, 45 points, gets his own triple-double, I don't know what it's going to be, but I feel like SGA is going to produce today. Like, these players have an ego. These players are well aware of the headlines and the noise, and SGA's got to do something. If SGA comes out and does his usual, like, 35-5, no one's going to be talking about SGA at all. They'll still be talking about Nikola Jokic 60-point triple-double. So I think SGA makes a statement today. That's what I'm betting on. It's got nothing to do with anything else. He's got a good matchup, and I think he makes a statement. I think even if it looks like a blowout, he probably plays extra minutes anyway so he can rack up some more points. Now, it's not how I normally like to bet, but you got to trust your gut sometimes. That's what I'm going to say. Pump the brakes real quick to ask you to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I want to say thank you to everyone for the support, all the wonderful messages, especially in my last video when I talk about that dickhead stealing my bets and then reselling them. Appreciate all the supportive messages that I got around that. Whilst I've got your attention, I can't stress this point enough. Wait until closer to the game time till you place your bets. If you rely on any types of projections, those projections are all over the place right now because there's a pending blowout. I really do think there is some opportunity in some bench players today. So find the games where you really think there's going to be a blowout. Find a bench play with a great matchup who's guaranteed to get some minutes in blowout situations, and you might be onto something. But let's get into some leans. I got some leans on some starters that you might be interested in betting on. There's reasons why I didn't bet them, and I'll talk you through that. But let's go. What do we have? First one I've got in this Pacers versus the Hornets game. The first lean I have is on Tyrese Halliburton, and I was looking at him to get back to getting 10 assists. Obviously, that run came to an end. 53-point win against the Wizards. He only plays 25 minutes in that game. So you can give him benefit of the doubt there. Then he had to first verse Lou Dort in the Dortcher chamber, played 29 minutes, blowout loss to OKC, only had 3 assists. Then he versed the Kings, close game, plays normal minutes, gets 11 assists again. Up against the Charlotte Hornets, the matchup is good enough for him to get another 10 assists. The problem is there is a potential blowout. But I'm saying Tyrese Halliburton is on my list of people that I'm considering. We'll see how I feel in the morning. I think when I wake up in the morning, I'm either a little bit more confident or I'm a little bit more sharp. I don't know what it is, but we'll see how I feel. The other one I'm looking at is Miles Bridges, and I'm looking at his rebounds and assists. Obviously, he's got a wonderful hit rate. Just looking at the games without LaMelo Ball, he's over this line in 15 out of 20 games, 13.8 rebounds and assists. looking at the games without LaMelo Ball and Mark Williams over this line in 9 out of 11 games. So he's still projected to play 33 to 35 minutes in this one. It's a little bit less than what he had been doing, whereas some games he played close to 40, but he was overproducing at that time at 10.5, averaging 14.9 in these types of matchups. Yeah, I don't mind it. Miles Bridges, he made my short list. Another one who made my short list was Domantas Sabonis. And I was looking at his rebounds, 14.5 rebounds. I know it sounds crazy, but he's up against the Washington Wizards today. They get the most rebounds, the second most rebounds to centers. They play with a ton of pace. 12 out of the last 15 similar types of centers have covered their rebound line against them, and that includes Sabonis himself. He had 18 rebounds the last time they played. His line in this game was 15.5, and he only played 32 minutes because it was a blowout win. Now, chances are there's another blowout win here, so Sabonis probably only plays about 32 minutes again. What I'm saying is, yes, there's a blowout risk, but he's covered it in blowout situations against Washington before, and a lot of other players similar to Sabonis have covered too. Like even these games, a lot of them were blowouts, and they still managed to cover. But 14.5 is a hell of a line. So we'll see. I might be a little bit more courageous when I wake up in the morning and down to bet Sabonis for 14.5, but we'll see. Knicks versus the Cavs. I was looking at Josh Hart here. Josh Hart, and I'm looking at his rebounds, over 9.5 boards. He just had an absolute stinker against the 76ers. He only had 4 rebounds in that game. Mitchell Robinson came on and got all the rebounds. Karl Anthony Towns is expected to be back in this game against Cleveland, which is going to open up more rebound opportunities for Josh Hart. And I also like the fact that in his last game against Cleveland at the start of this year, he did have 13 rebounds, 24 chances. So Josh Hart boards, that's on my radar. My problem here is, well, this is another good thing. 11 out of 15 similar types of players smash their rebounds line against the Cleveland Cavaliers. My only issue here is I cannot bet on Josh Hart. I cannot get him right. I can't figure this guy out. So that's my only hesitation. The next one, we're moving all the way to the Hawks versus the Mavs. And I'm looking at Trae Young and his assists. His assists are just absolutely crazy right now. He's just diamond up like a madman. 11.5 at plus money. It is a pretty high line. The Dallas Mavericks, they do allow quite a few assists. And I know AD's back. I know Gafford's back. I know Lively, most likely, he's a game time decision for this one. But I just watched the Dallas Mavericks get tortured by D'Angelo Russell, who had 11 assists in that game. I'm thinking their defense probably not as great as some people make it out to be. We got a 4.5 point spread, so Trae Young's going to get a lot of points. So I just know it's a high line. 11.5 assists is high, but Trae Young's a man that can do it. But outside of that, I didn't have too many other leans. Like the spread is huge. We've got game time decisions all over the joint. It's going to be a nasty one. Like I'm going to have to do some reacting to lineup changes and stuff like that. But we'll see. It's all part of the chaos. This is the game we choose to play. And there's a part of me that enjoys it too. So who am I to complain? But I appreciate you if you made it this far in the video. Hopefully we cash out once again. Hopefully you cash out too. If you are interested in joining VIP, there's links for that down below. Lifetime discount on VIP. But if you don't want to run same game parlays and you just want straight picks, it only costs you $1 a day. But I wish you the best of luck. Catch you in the next one. Peace.
Sub to the channel cause your boy's getting busy. Coming to you live from the west side of Sydney. We've got the free picks and the juice on the daily. It's all free, you don't even have to pay me.